Michelle Patterson here with Angel Souls, and this is our weekly angelic message for the week beginning, what is it, July? Oh, I almost said June. July 22nd, 2019. Again, as I explained last week, I am in Santa Fe, and I wanted to come to Santa Fe for a few days and batch film. That's what YouTubers do all the time. And a lot of your favorite YouTubers, you know, they always have a backlog of content so that we always make sure that no matter what's going on in our lives, you always get what you come for. And that's what I'm doing here. So don't get thrown by timing or like, oh wait, I thought this was happening then. You know, if it can be in the moment, it will be. But in this case, I'm going to do several ahead of time. Along that explanation, back home at my apartment complex, I really had to batch film because they are doing a ton of renovations, which is awesome. It's very, very nice of them. Although I almost killed myself after the roofers came and they scattered the stones all over the sidewalk, wedge heels on my knee. I thought I needed a hospital. I almost passed out. It was pretty bad. It's still bad now, but whatever. I mean, besides that whole thing, it's really nice that they're doing this, but it causes a lot of interruption for this kind of thing. Personal readings, not such a big deal because I could just do those in the evening when they go home. And if you want a personal reading, by the way, angelsouls444.com. So you'll be seeing these videos kind of coming out. That's what's going on there in case you were curious. If you weren't, just skip over that part. I guess too late, you already listened to it. Anyway, so July 22nd, 2019, our auto write. Let's get into it. I put out there, help us with these energies, please, angels. We ask you for your messages. And this is Gabriel coming in. This is what's interesting about batch filming, because they move very, very quickly. Angels can zip around, you know, maybe faster than the speed of light. I have no idea. But as soon as I opened that portal and being in this space with the spirit of place, things are firing off like this. And I had all like archangels coming forward, which is amazing. And I'm sure we could do that at home too, you know, if I want to call them in. But I just found it very interesting. I just stayed open to see what was happening, and this is what occurred. Okay, so I had to change my memory card. Sorry about that. So let's get into the auto right here. I just posed well, it's not even really a question. Help us with these energies, please, angels. We ask you for your messages. And then Gabriel came forward. Very interesting. When we're batch filming, I'm in the energy. I'm staying in it, and I'm just going bump, 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 bump for all the, you know, different weeks. And, you know, we had this big archangelic presence coming in. So this was Gabriel. This is, excuse me, there is nothing to fear. You only block by not believing. Do you, oh, okay. Do you truly think that what you see is all there is? Hear this. For what you know is not to be much longer. Lighter times, light times. So it is time for the light to come in and to come through us, and for us to be expressing through light, if that makes sense. Letting that light come through. Yes? Okay? So in our communications with one another, I think that's come up before, where we have to be a little more heart-centered and less judgmental and less defensive than thinking like people are going to harm us or, you know, do something terrible to us, right? So coming from a more heart-centered space, as we talked about previously. You are your heart. Use this time to reflect on deeds and resolve to change if necessary. We love you. You have the power to change. Gabriel. Now, it's about accountability. It's about acknowledgement. It's about saying, okay, I get it. You know, I tend to go down this road. I tend to do this. I tend to do that. And I will, you know, I'll own it, basically. And when you're coming from that space, and when you know, okay, I get it, I acknowledge that this is going on, now you have a way that you can make a different choice. Now, yes, we could say you could head into a different direction, but really what we're talking about here is changing the energy within you. That way, it's not like this, you know, mental image where you have to go a different direction, but rather it just starts to flow in that direction, right? And I was telling some people, you know, I've actually had times where things were just not going well, and I had to stop and go, okay, what is happening? Not to say that, you know, everything is your fault if anything ever does occur, but I have found sometimes that I'm catching myself being very, very fearful or just jumping to conclusions, assuming things, people's intentions, assuming I can't when I could, right? If I wanted to, I could make that choice, certainly, and started to realize, no, literally, it's not about just saying an affirmation in your head. It's about feeling a different energy and going, you know what? No, it doesn't have to be like that. And it does feel really good to just kind of fall over into the other, more expansive sense of self, if that makes sense. Yes? And to create from that place. Okay, I'm seeing that kind of after I took out the memory card, I kind of have the shot up a little bit, so it's just my head. Let me just take a moment here. I'm going to adjust the camera. Okay, is that better? So not just like a floating head-ish. All right, so let's see what is going on with the cards. Let's see what we have going on. First card out we have is the Lover's card. Okay, so this is very, very promising. This is loving. And I know a lot of people are always scrambling to find their love partner. And a lot of times people are just, you know, there's a lot of talk out there about we're meant to be with another person. We're meant to be partnered off. We're meant to be cool. But what I want to see is someone go off and spend a decade on their own, figuring it out, not leaning on anybody, not having any emotional support maybe, you know, besides like from your friends, but I'm talking as far as like a spouse or somebody to lean on, to have to make it on your own financially, and then you meet somebody. That's cool, right? Because now you know what you're made of. Now you know exactly how much you can accomplish, right? And you know you always have you. I love saying that because I think it rings true. You always have you. So if you, oops, sorry, about the glare on the cards. If you are somebody who is looking for someone to complete you or to make you feel better, or, and this is a big one, you just went through a breakup or something and you just want somebody to come in and make you feel good. You just want to move on to the next relationship. I've heard people, they've never been single. You know, they've never had a chance to decompress from even one energy before they went into another, much less get in touch with themselves. If you were that person, this might be the time to really try to start to look at that and ask yourself, why do I keep wanting to pull people in? Okay? The next card we have is beautiful. It is surrender. Can I just tell you a quick side note? There's this, I'm sitting in this lovely chair. It is so cozy. I want to get one of these for my apartment because it's really nice to do the readings on this as opposed to this like couch thing that I have that I usually sit on. Anyway, that was just a side note. So surrender. Okay, so this is a big one. Let it go. Let go of an argument. Let go of, again, what you think love should be. Let go of this idea that you have to be with somebody. If it's not right for you to be with somebody right now because you need to get to know yourself, allow that to happen. Okay? So surrender to circumstances too, because this is a, you know, they're saying that they're trying to protect, God is protecting, and some people just keep trying to go back to the same old kind of partner in conjunction with the Lover's card, or you know, you're just trying to keep on in the old way, you know, however you want to interpret that. So surrender to whatever is going on right now. Allow yourself to just go, you know what, that's okay, that's what's happening right now, and I can find a solution. It always works out. It always works out. As I just knock, there's a stand right here. Let me see if I can move this. Oh. Turns out I can't. There's going to be lots of things that I'm not expecting. There was a stand sitting right here and I just realized it was probably in the shot. Whatever, it's not my normal setup. It was worth it anyway, so sorry about it. You know, it's kind of funny that, just as a side note, like the YouTube world, they're this striving for perfection. Give me good content. As long as I can kind of hear you, I can kind of see you. I don't care what's going on in the background. I don't care if a plane is going over. That used to be something that people would scream and holler about when I lived in Queens. I don't care. Especially if you're a spiritual person, give me the goods, right? So I hope you feel the same way when my videos are super messed up. Okay, anyway, the surrendering, you know, just again, lay down any need to control. I think that's really ultimately what we're talking about here, okay? And that means watch out for the need to control on how you meet somebody, who you bring in, so on and so forth. Okay, not that one. Interesting. Okay. Hold on, I'm going to shuffle again. Sometimes when I get ready to pull a card, it can kind of feel like there's no energy in it. It's just kind of flat. So let's get our right cards, okay? That's good. Here we go. We have War and Peace. This keeps coming up, guys. It keeps coming up, and I'm telling you, I think there's like a huge message here that you have a choice. You have the power. Do not martyr yourselves. Do not get into victimhood. None of it, okay? Choose the peace. I feel like I don't even have to talk about this anymore because, you know, it keeps coming up. We always talk about it, right? And then we have family. So isn't this interesting? We have the Lover's card. We have surrender. Okay. Sorry, I wanted to tune in and get that whole thing there. So some of you, it might be literally family. Of course, there's lots and lots of people out there. It might literally be family, but this feels like being, it's about connection. That's what I want to say. It's about connection. Yes, you could say soul family, sure. Yeah. But again, you got to be careful with what you do with that, right? So how many times have people joined meditation groups, right? And there's one sassy person who's trying to control everybody, right? Or whatever, you know, and you're trying to find your people, but it's just not working. You know, don't fall into this thing of like, oh, I'm in such desperate need to have a family that I'm just going to go tolerate whatever kind of abusive, you get what I'm saying, right? So be careful with that. This is also saying that maybe some of you are starting a family. For certain. Okay, so if you if you already are with your love partner, maybe this week is, you know, one where you're reconnecting and you're really coming together. Maybe you're starting a family. Could very well be. But this is yet another layer of messaging here is that, yeah, well, give it to me. Like, what? Let me get this. I don't want to put this in a way of family secrets, but there's a surface level human story going on around family, okay? And then there is the discovery of some surface level truths, okay? So this could be something like, you know, hey, I, you know, had a great grandmother and, you know, she liked spirituality too. She was super psychic. Well, hey, I didn't know that. Maybe that's where I get it. It's that kind of thing, right? Where some bit of information comes out that makes you feel connected to the past, makes you feel connected to your supposed bloodline. So we got to be careful with that, right? Your supposed bloodline. What I mean by that is, you know, we're always incarnating with our soul families, maybe, or you're coming in as a solo player with other, you know, human souls to learn or help them or whatever. We can go on and on about that. But a lot of times people get hung up on, this is who I am. And guess what? Maybe that ancestry isn't really what your soul, maybe you hadn't participated in the same bloodline previously. Does that make sense? In your physical way, there's that bloodline. But truly, on a soul level, you've been all over the place, okay? So I hope that makes sense. I don't know if I'm explaining that well enough. So let's get the color card. And let's see what we have going on. All right. We have orange. I love this. Sort of a refresh, right? A refresh around how you see yourself. And for some of you, it's a refresh around desirability, which is interesting. But that just feels like it's an awakening passion. It's sort of like, you know, I do have a passion for expressing myself. in this world, and that's orange. Hi, the sacral chakra. The card says nurture yourself. The number is 16 on there. Again, I had somebody point out a long time ago, oh my gosh, the 16 is just to correspond with the book that every deck comes with. And I'm like, yeah, I got that, all right? But when it comes out, we should look at the number. I mean, it might hold some meaning for someone. I don't know. It does reduce to 7, which is an angelic number. Ha, okay? So the orange, fire up your self-care. Really get that going. Get in touch with your emotions. That's really what it is. And like I said, there's like a refresh. There is not only viewing maybe your family in a different light, but viewing yourself in a different light. And here's the potential here. If you are, you know, somebody who's been carrying around a lot of family hurt, and it could be something really severe. Yes, you can get to a time. You can get to a time. I've done it myself. Where when those thoughts start coming up again, I'm being like, remember when that person did that horrible thing to me? Remember when that person did that to me? And that starts to rise up again. And I go, I forgive and I love. That sounded really hippie-ish, but whatever. But no, I do that. I am like, and it's not just me telling myself that. I really feel like I am ready to let it go. I am ready to surrender. I am ready to just, you know, let that energy be. We came, we did what we had to do, and now it's time to not be held, you know, in that energy anymore. Okay? So I hope that made sense. I'm going to leave it there. I'm sending y'all so much love, and take care. Bye-bye.